I do appreciate you very much for being here. I'm seeing a few familiar faces. I'm seeing some new faces. So welcome everybody. I can assure you that you are here for a very, very special treat. Have you ever heard of the hero's journey? Who here has heard of the work of Joseph Campbell, the hero's journey? Show your hands. Okay, a couple of people have. Wonderful, wonderful. And a lot of you have not. So trust me, this is a treat. I got introduced to the hero's journey myself about 20 years ago. One of those flukes, you know, people tell you, oh, you need to read this book or you need to watch this movie. Had never seen Star Wars in my life, imagine that. You know, in Germany, that movie where I grew up was not that big of a deal. In my era, we were Star Trek kids. And that was quite an awakening, I have to say. I got introduced to the model, the hero's journey, the work of Joseph Campbell. Then I read some books and I watched Star Wars and I was hooked. Now I cannot watch a movie or read a novel or be exposed to some kind of a story without looking at it from the perspective of the hero's journey. It is a very, very powerful transformational model. And because we are in the month of February and we're celebrating relationship, Valentine's Day, I'm offering the model of the hero's journey in conjunction with personal growth in the level of creating happy, fulfilling relationships. And that can be on the level of personal as well as professional. So this doesn't matter if you're in or out of a relationship, if you want to work on your love life, if you want to work on your professional relationship. And I have talked with some of you, so I know we're here for many various reasons. And this is wonderful, because the whole point of a model is that you can take it, you look at it, you experience it, and then you apply it to your own life and see how it fits your very unique personal experience with it. And so let me introduce to you the model itself, which is very simple. And I've done a lot of research over the years with many, many different authors, many different ways of looking at it. And here's my very congealed and easy version, because some of them have 23 steps that you need to memorize, and there's a whole area of information that you can find on the internet, and I actually posted it on our event, that you can also do some own research and see where this whole journey takes you. This is my very, very simple, easy version of what the hero journey is like. It is a circular journey. In the West, usually we are a very linear-minded culture. We are very time-oriented, and we are very mathematical, very procedure-oriented, very left-brained, you may say. And so when we think about life, we think about I was born, then I grew up, and then I became a student, then I got married, blah, blah, blah. We think on like it was a journey on a path that is linear and keeps just going into the future. In many native traditions, actually life is being viewed as a circle. That is a little bit more of a right brain engagement with reality, to think about life more in a circular form. And the hero's journey follows this beautiful circular form that you see in many, many, many cultures. And the beauty about the hero's journey, and that's what Joseph Campbell found out in his studies, it's all over the world and it's across time. You can go back to the ancient Greek myth. You can look at the birthing myths of many native cultures of how the earth came to be. You can go into the mythology of the medieval ages. You can go to Peru, you can go to China, you can go to England. There is always that same underlying structure under every story. It doesn't matter if it's an Arthurian legend or a Kung Fu master or a love story. So, the components are as follows. You start in the status quo. You are in your normal world, and we represent that with the tower. This is where you're comfortable, this is where you're safe. Luke Skywalker, I'm just a little farm boy on Tatooine. Frodo, he's just a little hobbit who is living in the Shire. The hero is just immersed in their everyday activities. Harry Potter, he's just a little student who doesn't get loved by his family. You are somewhere in your current life where you're at. You're before something cool is about to happen. So we are in our normal, everyday, ordinary life circumstances. Until something big happens, a call. There is a call to adventure, a call to awaken. We might get divorced, we might lose a job, we might get sick, we might move. There are things that happen that kick us out of that ordinary world, and here we are. Can't go back, can't pretend it doesn't happen, like getting pregnant. You know, once you've committed yourself to having a child, there's no going back. And I remember that during birth, I'm like, oh, can we just take a break? It's like, no, you are on this quest, you're going to finish it, girlfriend. So once you've started the quest, you are committed. once that call has happened, and not always do we follow the call. Sometimes we have resistance and say, no, I don't want to do this, I don't want to start my own business, I don't want to go and study, I don't want to leave my parents. Whatever we have as our excuse to say, no, I don't want to change. No, just leave me in my tower. I'm comfortable in my tower. I know it's not really the best tower for me. It's not exactly where I want to be, but I'm comfortable. And that is where that first moment comes, that first initiation of like, am I going to take that plunge? Am I going to jump off that cliff? And that's when our hero truly packs their bag. I want to make this is his little stick when he holds his stuff. Oh my God, I'm going backwards here. Baseball cap, American hero. He packs his bag, he leaves his tower and gets on the road. And in that moment, we're literally stepping through a portal. A portal of no return. And a lot of times, this portal is guarded by guardians. And those are the people who tell us, you can't do that, you're too old. You're too old to start a new business. You don't have the right education to do X, Y, Z. You're not pretty enough, you're not this, you're not that. Those are those guardians that are like, are you sure you're committed to this quest? Are you sure you want to pack those bags and really, really step out of that tower and into the unknown? And that's where we then attract our helpers. And that's where Disney is so famous in their storytelling. And you can look at every Disney movie and they follow exactly cookie cutter this very scheme. And I actually researched some of their videos specifically to see how this all plays out. And so the hero helper is a major big deal in our heroic quest, that we somehow attract the right resources and support to us. So the resource can come in the form of a book, it can come in the form of a sword, the lightsaber, it can be a talisman, it can be any kind of a resource, a tool that we can put in our tool bag that helps us along our quest. And there is the hero helper. There is the Samwise Gamgee, there is the fellowship that helps Frodo. There are the friends that Harry Potter has. There is, who else was I thinking of? Luke Skywalker, he attracts Han Solo and Leia, who becomes a major player in the story. So you all, and of course Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? Major, big wizard. And what the mentor, the helpers, what they signify is the idea of, I've been there, I've done that. Let me take you by my hand and I'm going to take you down that scary path into this unknown territory where I keep you safe, I'm helping you along the way. And that's what we all attract to us when we are on our heroic quest. People show up, resources show up that help us along our path. Ultimately, what the journey is about is reconciliation and atonement. Atonement is one of those beautiful words. When you dissect it a little bit, it's at-one-ment. We are becoming one again. We're finding back to ourselves. We're connecting back with Source. In Star Wars, it is very, very specially signified with Luke helping his father to recover himself, taking off that mask of Darth Vader, finding that he's Anakin Skywalker. There is somehow an atonement between our internal masculine and feminine parts. And that's where the story gets really, really convoluted, and I found so much different research that this is truly the easiest way I've been able to find it. Also bringing in Eastern philosophy and the quantum physics, which I'm so interested in, to look at ancient wisdom plus modern technology, and then put it all into the framework of the hero's journey. It truly is about claiming your parts again, fully being in the male energy, which is all about going out there, making things happen. You're the warrior. You are out there in the world, making your footprint, leaving a legacy. That is a very outgoing, active energy. The feminine energy is about sitting back, relaxing, enjoyment, dancing, singing, emotions, love, joy, abundance. It's a very, very different energy. It is passive. It is receptive. It's about attracting. Here it's about manifesting. Here it's about attracting. And that's what the yin-yang is all about. That's what Tai Chi is all about. That's what Qigong, yoga, all of these disciplines are based on the idea of bringing balance between our internal parts. Now, for those of you who are thinking that's pretty woo-woo, goes with the brain. It is another metaphor for how the brain hemispheres work. The right brain is more about music and language and arts. The left brain is more about mathematics. So you see, there is a logical and an intuitive side to us. And when we bring those two together, and in mythology, in storytelling, that is often signified through making peace with the father, reclaiming the kingdom, or finding the goddess, releasing the girl from the tower, finding the damsel and saving her, slaying the dragon. All these kind of metaphors are being used to bringing that has been lost and that has been somehow discarded back into us and back into balance. Claim your inner mother and your inner father. Claim your inner god, your inner goddess. That's what mythology talks about. So that ultimately is the quest. That's why we're going on the quest. We're leaving that behind so that we can, on our journey, through our discoveries, move into reclaiming our internal balance of feminine and masculine aspects. Welcome. And by doing that, we get a gift. The universe gives us a gift. This is our personal evolution. This is our personal discovery, our personal way of being in this world that then becomes something that enhances our own life, that we get to claim, something that makes us a better person, something that gets us to a higher level of spirituality, of consciousness. By going through this journey and reclaiming our feminine and masculine parts, bringing them into balance, the gift that we receive is a higher level of experience of reality. And then the hero goes back to the portal from the unknown world back into the known world, because if the hero stays down here, there's no point. There's no hero, you guys. It's about bringing it back to our culture. It's about bringing it back to our society that turns the quest of a personal evolution into a heroic quest by coming back into our culture and actually sharing it with others. And that's what makes a person a hero. And the heroism can come in many, many different forms. It can come in the form of sacrifice. And that's why we so much honor the people, for example, at 9/11, who did sacrifice their own lives to save others. And that is a very, very highly acclaimed form of heroism. There is the heroism of loving. There is the heroism of a Mother Teresa, of nurses. Just imagine those people, how much heroism they exhibit every day, dealing with the sick, dealing with the people who are in their own pain. There is heroism in parenthood. There is heroism in entrepreneurship. Heroism can come in so many different ways. So it is about taking that gift and what we have learned ourselves and then bringing it back into the ordinary world and sharing it with everybody. In that moment, you've become the hero. When you have some kind of an effect on your culture that then somehow enhances all of the people that are around you. It can be a family system, it can be a work environment, it can be a church environment, your athletic club, wherever you want to play, whatever your passion is. And that's the beauty, because all of our quests are different. Nobody's quest is the same as anybody else's quest. And that makes us all, every single one of these 7+ billion people that we have on this planet right now, is on their own heroic quest. And by honoring that, by understanding that, it really puts relationship in a very different frame when you think about who you are and how you're relating with everybody else around you. Your most internal family system, your closest circle of friends, your closest circle of community, your work life, and then extending it out into a larger community. And to imagine that you are on this journey, your whole life is that journey right now. You were born, you came into this world. That is the ultimate heroic quest, according to Joseph Campbell. Just being born makes you a hero. To say, I'm going to be in this physical reality and see what's going on this earth, and be on this quest of a lifetime. And then your whole life, essentially, is one big cycle. And then you have the cycles within the cycles. You get into a relationship, bam, you're following the call to adventure, and then you have to seriously balance your internal feminine and masculine parts to be in a relationship. You start a new business, bam, you're stepping through that portal again. You are starting a new job, you're starting a journey. These two guys have come down here from Salt Lake City, so even just coming down here from Salt Lake City right now is a heroic quest. You coming to this seminar right now is a heroic quest. I just called you to adventure by sharing this model with you, and by you sitting here, you now are willing to consciously step through that and say, okay, what am I attracting right now? What am I questing in my life right now.
Go quantum, dude!